Hi, guys. I'm sorry I'm out of town, but I wanted to go ahead and pre-film this landscape class. I'm excited about you doing this landscape with me, and I can't wait to see what you turn it into. And I'm taking a photograph that I thought was really wonderful, and it's an opening into a garden. But what I'm hoping to see is what you turn it into, because I want you to see that some of the opening looking out, and there's lots of detail back there where we can just get an illusion that there's something out there and not do as realistic exactness that we have in this, but it's going to be fun. So I'm thrilled to show you how I would take the picture and turn it into something. Thank you so much for being a member of the One Stroke Advantage. Thank you for joining the hydrangea level for all those who are on that and on tulip level and on rose. Okay, so rose is our biggest level right now, and I'm thrilled to have so many of you do 4 lessons a month with me. So thank you, and let's get started. I am missing you guys already before I take off on my 2-week teaching tour. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go to the overhead. We are using our multi-surface paint, and we are going to, let me see. I like it when it kind of will stay straight for me, but it's got a spring that springs right up when I try to work with it. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this picture right here so we can look at it together. All right, so I'm looking at the arch and the wall over here. This is the other side, but look at this opening. And it's a good 4 to 5 fingers wide in this opening. And I'm still going to do it, maybe that or a little bit larger. So you can see right here, I'm going to curve this. All right. And I started about, here's halfway. So I kind of started at halfway and started curving it. Now I want you to do this really light. I'm doing it darker so you can see well. All right, so don't sketch dark. And if you're just watching and not paying attention to what I'm saying, you might do that anyway. All right, so I'm going to hold my finger right here with the lead, and that will give me the straight wall right here. All right, and then on this other side, we have, let's see, I want to do about the same thing over here, where it's going to be 3 fingers. And I want to come all the way up with 3 fingers. All right. And this might come a little bit like this. All right. So let's bring it down here, actually. See right here? All right, don't worry about this because when we paint it, it'll be fine. All right. So what's going to happen about 4 fingers from the bottom? We're going to kind of come over here and here. The deal is that there's lots of garden there, so you might not see that as much. And in between here and over here, about right here, there's a path, and the path's going to go halfway. I'll see how big my opening is. I can, do I want to make it? I might want to make this smaller. So here's the top, and let's come down here. Here's the top, and there we go. So 5 fingers. And then what's going to happen here? I'm going to come down. This will just be a wall here. This is going into the garden gate area. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the arch for the door. And it's going to be way over here because it's back here. Right, so this is the edge of the door. All right, and this is too close. Okay. So up here it's going to go up and over, all the way over and down. Also, actually, you don't even see this here. I'm going to come down in here. And we're going to go just a little bit this way. So let's come over a little bit more. This is going to be a little bit of the door, which is going to go this way. And then we'll say that there's a circle right there looking in. And all right, so we want this, the way it's looking like it's back is that we have this angle, these angles, and we're kind of going this way too. So when we get to here, we're going to just show a little bit of the edge. Now this side, it's going to stop. All right, so what we're going to see through here in this opening, there's flowers to here. So I'm going to have this about halfway. And then what's going to happen is we're going to come just like this behind the door. And actually, it's going to go a little bit more like that. A little bit of the stones this way. And this is going to go right to there. All right, so you see in the path. All right, so that's the basics that we've got to get in here. And then way back here is the greenery. All along here's greenery. This disappears. And then we have some blue sky. All right. So let's start getting our colors. I'm putting up a pattern on tulips of tulip level if you need a pattern. But right now, you can take and screenshot that right there and be able to trace that and work with it. All right, so what I am going to have is right in here, you're going to see a little bit of this edge here. Oh, that's the top edge of this. So actually, this is going to be right here. Let me get my white eraser, my moo eraser. All right. I'm going to come to here. I was thinking this is a side of the column, but it's not. So this stone entrance is going to come way in here. All right. There we go. And we're going to come on down here. And then we will see the segments that we're going to do where this goes around. What you do have is a bigger keystone up there. Then we're gonna have those come around. Now, what's gonna be fun is that these are stones in here, which we'll do later. But as we come around here, right, right. So what's going to happen on this edge? This is the edge I was trying to do, and I realized, uh-oh, I'm not doing this right yet. All right, so then from here, we have different widths, some big ones, some smaller ones. And that goes all the way down. Okay, the same thing goes here, small, large, small, large. Okay, so now what's happening on these other areas, we are going to bring some squares down. And so we will have a big guy here and a couple of small ones here. We're going to continue to do that all down here. And then we'll do the same thing over here. But I'm going to put all the tan down there. There we go again, if y'all want to take another screenshot. Okay, so we're going to need floating medium, coffee latte. And we do want a really soft blue, white or titanium white. So let's look at this light blue. This is medium blue. We can add some white to it. I usually use my painter sponge if I'm doing like a 16 by 20, but we don't need to on something this small. We can come in with our 16 flat or a 3/4 flat. And I just want you to see medium white. I put this in water, laid it on the paper towel, and I'm going to come right in here. First of all, we've got this opening there. All right, and we're going to come around. I'm going to bring lots of white in here to get this a light blue. All right, so that's blue, a little bit of blue in the door. And you could have some blue in here, but this is mostly going to be greenery. But just in case you see some of it, go ahead and put some blue up there. Here again, I have used some of my own licensing to create a different look if I wish. All right. And when you're doing this, guys, make sure you just come on around. Okay. and do all the blue right where it would be going to. Okay. All right, this over here is, I guess that is a little bit of blue over here. See, now that what's great is that lead from the pencil can shade this for you. All right, so then what's going to happen? I do have a lot of greenery here, so I will put a little bit of blue in here, and a little bit of greenery is going to come right in on here, right in here. And this path is disappearing way back there. Okay. And I like to do all that before we put the coffee latte in, and add some of the green. So here's white and coffee latte. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have little bits of stepping stones. And what I will do is I'll put some green in between, because there will be little bits of grass growing in between. All right, so let's go here and here. Now, lots of greenery, flowers are going to be coming in front here. I just want you to see that it's not a hard process to make this happen. Okay, and then we're going to come in here with a little bit darker for the door, but I think I will just make the door coffee latte with this. I've still got the 16, and then what we'll do is shade it with burnt umber. Okay, we'll put all kinds of shading there so that you can tell it's a door. It's a big old hunky door right here. All right, and so we've got that gray lead. I'm going to go really close around this window. Okay, and so when I use that little bit of bark brown or burnt umber, it's going to make it look really good. Okay, back and forth. So a little bit of medium, a little bit of coffee latte. Now the stepping stones and the door, a little bit darker. All right. Okay, so I am going to take this 3/4 inch and I'm going to add white to it. You can take a palette knife even and get this all worked in here. Lots of white with a coffee latte. Okay, now what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and leave this here because I want to put the greenery, and then I'll come back and then put this wall, because then you can have a crisp edge on the wall. Okay, so citrus and sap, and yeah, this is sap. Okay, so I can leave this coffee latte in here. But what I want you to see is we're going to come right up here. You see this? I'm going to put a little bits of dark green. Okay, so that's a little bit of trees and color up here. We will have some greenery all coming over here, but we'll wait till we get the building up. I'm going to be a little bit right in there. Okay, and then back here, I have a few trees and a little bit coming across here. Okay, so that's just giving you a little bit of woods back there. And then what I'm going to do is you have to have dark to see light. So I'm going to have right down here a little bit of a hedge. Okay. And I'm going to come right down in here. Okay, so this one on the door a little bit, make sure you clean it off while you're there. And a little bit. Okay, just keep putting some greenery. A little bit. All right, so that's the dark. I'm going to wipe this off and then just ever so lightly have little bits of citrus. And then I could get some white and citrus and have a little bit brighter in here and brighter in here. All right, so you just keep coming in here. All right, and there again, this is all darker on this side. See how I'm just loosely going onto the walk there. See, you see there's just a little bit of something in the back, which makes it kind of interesting. But I'm not going into grave detail, which I have spent a lot of time before getting really good detail. So if you do this darker in here, then all the blossoms and the pretty greens will show. All right, so I am just going for a little bit of illusion when it comes to these stone walls and also in here. So when we come back in here, we'll put some fern, some pretty little pink flowers. All right, so I am going to go to the edges. We could do this later. I'm just going to make sure that while I'm here, I've got it. Okay. So you're starting to feel a little bit of depth even before we put the other shades on, right? All right. So now we're going to go back to this mixed color that I have here. And I'm going to fill in, and I want you to see that you can come right along here and see the pencil drawing through it. And that's where I'm going to shade it a little bit darker. Right in here, lots of foliage and all goes over it, so I don't worry about it being perfect. We'll keep coming around here. In here. Fill it all in. You can even use a bigger brush. I've got that 1.5 inches. You can fill in this if you want. This is a wall that's over here. Okay. So see, I've got it lighter than the door. all the way around. So see how I need a hard edge right there? And a hard edge right there. Now I'm just going to shade it with a little bit darker coffee latte without the white in it. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, what's going to happen? I need to put a little bit over here. I'm using a floating medium. Now, what we want to see here is a little bit. I want to get our brown first. So this is bark brown. It's not quite as dark as a burnt umber, but we don't have to have that dark in here. The only places on the door it gets a little bit darker. All right, so, oh, I should have used a 3/4. I didn't know that whole time I used a 16. Okay. All right, so here is more. This is my 16 still. There we go. So we're at an angle. Okay. So what happens here, this really needs to dry before I shade the door. So I'm just getting a nice coat on there, and I'm going to leave it like this until I do all my other painting. That'll be dry enough so I can work on it. And one of the things that happens in here, we are coming across here. See, it's picking up some wet green. So I keep picking up a little bit of coffee latte, a little bit of sap green. And where you would make it look like it's more realistic is when it's close. All right, so isn't that starting to look like something? Now I can take my a little, like this is a filbert, and I can get some sap on here first and touch a little bit of that bright green. And back here, you wouldn't see it super well, but as you come up closer, I've got some sap and some citrus. Okay, but look, we just come right along here. And a little bit here. All right, so it gives you a little bit of that feel. Okay, so let's take this with floating medium and this coffee latte. Right now, you can go as slow as you want. I'm just trying to get all the details in here so that when you come back to watch and do it with me, you can stop me at any time and move forward. See my little fingers running on the side? That keeps this nice and straight. All right. So coffee latte, and I got a little bit of bark brown. Okay, and then same thing happens here. So my little finger is going to get me steady, and then I'm just going to pull up. All right, same thing happens here. See all this little detail on the outside edges here makes a difference. All right, so it's starting to look like something. Now remember, we're going to get real dark on the door. And so what I want to do is there's a few spots that you can come in here. Oops, not green. With some bark. So you can have a few spots here and there for the stone wall. And same thing over here where it just looks kind of a little weathered. All right, so I'm going to take more floating medium and just pick up coffee latte again, remember? So as I'm coming here, on both sides, and there's the keystone. You also have this dark right here. All right, that gives you a little bit of that illusion. Let me bring it back in here. All right. So I come in here kind of where I can see. Here's the keystone. So you can take and put as much detail or as little detail as you want, because when I get all through here and we put the pretty greenery and all that's going in here, it takes your eyes off of heavy detail and gives you an illusion that's kind of fun. All right, because even if we left some of this brick where it's got some white, I've done some where it just went back and forth with some marks in it. See, So we're just going for that effect. And maybe some people just love working on all that little detail, and that's fun too. But I'm really wanting to see all of our pretty greenery. Okay. Now, I'm going to clean my brush, and I'm going to use floating medium. And I've still got the 16, and I'm picking up burnt umber. Now, what's going to happen here is I want the darker burnt umber on this edge here. So I'm going to keep picking it up. Can you see I'm coming straight down? And I keep getting burnt umber. It's bark brown, not burnt umber. So I got off balance. So like I'm just going to come back and then come straight down. All right, because I had a little lump in there. You don't want to leave that because it'll take away from the clean looking door. All right, so I'm going to pick up some more. Can you see that? Just remember, this is a gate to our garden. And when I come around here, I'm going to get more medium. And I'm going to come right here and go to that edge. All right. That's why I was wanting some of this to dry so it wouldn't take off a lot of what we're done. Now, what I want to do is I can come right down here and get some streaks on the door, just a little bit. Okay. You can come back with burnt brown or even some licorice to get some of this deeper shading here. All right, so let's come right along here. All right, now when I'm here, we're going to come straight across. This is going to go right here. See that? And I came right in here. And you got to keep it at the same direction, okay? All right. And I did come in here. Thought we'd come in here with a little bit of a licorice door. All right. And let's see if I got licorice right here. There. See, as we start putting more into it, you don't have to do every bit of that brickwork. All right, so then I'm going to have the hinges there. And down here, I would have more than 2 hinges on this big door, but that's what it's got. And then I'm going to come around here, and it looks like there's a little bit of wrought iron here, but I would just go like this and just get that illusion, okay? Now, what we want to do at this point is we're going to come in here and put a lot of shrub right here. See in here? So back and forth. Remember, I told you we're going to have dark to see light. All right. And then on this side, there's dark underneath, but we're going to have light for it coming up. All right. So in here, it just came out a little bit more. And we're going to take this little small scruffy. It's a 1/4 inch scruffy. And I'm going to tap a little bit of white where I've got this light back here. And then right up here, sap. Okay, see, look, it just looks like different foliage coming across here. All right, so down in here, I'm going to come right in here. And so it's kind of like this is on top of the dark hedge that's here. A little bit in here. All right, a little bit of bush in here. And we have just a little bit in this area between where the flowers are going to go. There we go. Get some dark green in there. Okay, so like it's starting to look like something. We're just really putting the green in there with the scruffy. All right, so I'm going to put out some it's like berry wine, and then we're going to use some pinks to be magenta. Okay. Now, I still have the 16. I'm going to come in here with the berry wine. These are kind of like the stems that are on these flowers. This wine color. And right in here, they really show like that. I've got some tall ones. See, it's a wine color in the stem. Okay, so that can kind of dry while I'm putting the undergrowth in here. All right, so for the greenery, I'm gonna bring just a little bit of yellow. Yeah, some daffodil yellow. And some magenta. Yeah, there it is. All right, so over here, as we're putting this in, I'm going to come right in here with some medium. Right here. So this is the 8 flat. All right. I'm gonna put a little bit here, but we need white in there too. On the corner, we're adding just a little bit. All right. I'm going to come right in here too. Standing up, sliding to the corner. So chisel, stand up, chisel, stand up. I thought this was more like fern, but it's this large blade tropical leaf. All right, same thing that happened here. All right. Now, I can come in here, guys, with the 8 also, and just put some pink magenta in here. And a little bit of white. So if I come in here with white, I'm going like this. I'm slip slapping on the corner. There we go. Now we can put a little bit of pink in here. Okay, and down in here, I did put some bright yellow. I mean, I need to put, that's what's in the picture, right? Okay, so what's happening up at the top? We are putting some little bits of vine. All right, because so can y'all see that? There's going to be some little bit of vining hanging. All right. And one of the things that I like, let's get that scruffy brush. The scruffy brush has to be totally dry. And so I shouldn't have really put it in water. All right, so there's a couple of ways you can do this, guys. You could come in here with filbert and put sap on one side and citrus on the other. You can come in here. Just go back and forth, back and forth. Or we can take this scruffy and I can have a little bit. Remember, dark before light. All right, so okay. All right, so that's growing there. And then I think those are just coming out here. And we can put a little bit more dark in this area. And you can even have some of this hanging over. All right. Now what I need over here, so if you just come up a little bit, you see, then I put some citrus, a little bit of yellow. There we go. All right, so there's just little lines coming from the center up there. So we're putting little teeny white blossoms. All right, I'm going to put a little bit over here. See the white? All right, so what's going to happen now that this is dried up to get the balance of this done is I'm also going to go back with a smaller brush here. That's the filbert, so let's go to this 8. All right, now what we do is we're picking up the white and the magenta with the flat 8. All right, so I'm going to come up here first thing and pick up some white. Okay. Over here, a little bit of white. Over here, some white. So we're going to tap it and we're going to put some dark, some light, and then we're going to have some space in between. So then I can come back down here and start again. White and magenta. See how those bright flowers are going to be in there? Come up here with magenta. A little bit here and there. All right, so see, these look like stalk flowers. There's all kinds of flowers that have this tall, nice look. Okay, so a little bit of tropical, a little bit of steps. The last thing I want you to see is that you can come in here with a teeny bit of, see, this steps look good, but if you just did a little bit of aging on here. Just a little bit here and there. How they gave it some depth. And then you can decide if you want to put some more in there. And there's a couple like light blues that you can put in here. Like some hydrangeas in here. By just dabbing the 8. That takes it back a little bit. But as you come up closer here, you got to make sure that you see that it's purplish color here. All right. Well, I hope you like that. There's all kinds of tendrils and different curlicues and stuff. You can make these into like a vine. And you don't even have to do curls. You could just come in here. You could also add wisteria, which would be purple. Coming on some of these. There we go. So I'm going to take a picture and send it to you. What you guys think. So we're just looking for an illusion to give us a look of a quick and easy painting from this to this. And just you have some detail up close. And then a little bit less as you go back. And I could spend another hour shading in here, but it's up to you whether you need it or not. All right. So until I see you again, keep painting.